Hi, and welcome back to our London Business Podcast with Anna and Emanuela. Today, we wanted to talk to you about another big topic that is huge in London, and it's property. If you have seen our magazine, you will see that property is a big section where we cover lots of different aspects of property in London. Obviously, investment is a big one, but also how to find a property in London, how to maintain a property in London, and all to do with property in London, basically. So before we start talking about property in London, I wanted to just share some numbers with you so that you get an idea of how how expensive London is as a real estate ground. So I got some figures up from a source, which I will obviously put in the description of the video. And in 2023, so if you were looking to get a house in London, the average price for per square meter was £9,000. That's insane, isn't it? Per square meter. And if you're looking for an apartment, it gets even worse. It's £12,000 per square meter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously just central London, which is the most expensive part of London, but that's the average price. So if you are looking for a studio apartment in London, you're looking at almost £1 million, which is insane.
It's worth it, but it's almost not.
And if you're looking for a house, then if you want a 4-room house, it's like £3 million. So that's obviously, again, central London, but it shows you how, why London is an attractive investment ground for real estate people. And it shows you the potential, I suppose, for a business, because if you are thinking of starting a business, then if you look at the property market, you can get some good ideas about how you can make money there, because clearly there is money in the property market, and London, a lot of money. And there are lots of different ways that you can obviously make money and start a business in the property field. So we have some articles on the London Business Magazine, Business News Magazine, about businesses that are involved in this industry, and that's anything to do with cleaning, property cleaning services, rubbish removal services, pest control services, but it can also be anything to do with maintenance. So if you, for example, need a handyman, or if you need a builder, construction is big, obviously, as well, interior designers, anything to do with a property, basically, gardening, landscaping, you name it, And also what a lot of people might not be aware of, maybe, I think a lot of Londoners know, but maybe people who move to London don't know yet, is that obviously Airbnb or renting out properties is big business as well. So even if you're a private person, you might not want to build a business of it, but it can be an extra income that you can utilize to just get by, because London is an expensive city, obviously. So in terms of property, Anna, you live in London.
You do.
I think you're born in London, right? So you have lived in London all your life. How do you feel, especially as a young person in London now, what do you feel is what people should know if they want to start a business in the property or real estate market in London, or if they want to move to London and they want to find a way to earn money? What would you say, or what would you recommend, they look at or they consider? Because as we saw, it's big business, but you got to know where to start or what to look for. So do you have any ideas or recommendations?
Yeah, so from my personal experience, obviously, as you said, I was in London, I was paying rent back then. From sort of my family and everyone that I've spoken to, I can understand how sort of demanding rent prices and such have been over time, and how it's kind of increased as well.
Yeah.
I think I don't live in central London, which is what we kind of covered in here, but I live sort of North London, right?
Yeah.
And even within North London, so the home I have now, I feel the price it started at, so the initial kind of rent or the initial selling price was a lot lower. And over time, it's grown so much, and it's only going to grow because even though it's not in central London, it's surrounding London, and I definitely think if you're kind of thinking to get into property, it doesn't matter if it's in central London. You could go north, south, east, west. As long as it's surrounding London and has good links to sort of train stations or the underground, it will do well. And I genuinely, sort of wholeheartedly advise people seeking to get into property to definitely consider London, because it's such a big kind of not destination, but you know, a place. Or even as a destination if you want to treat it as an Airbnb, as you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's what a lot of people do now, because when I came to London, what was big was obviously sharing. They don't like sharing a flat or sharing a house just to keep the cost low, right? But what people now do is they might rent a property and then maybe have a spare room in there and sometimes Airbnb it, right? Because you can probably, if you do it every weekend, and depending on your location and everything, you might be able to make, I don't know, 100 quid a night or something like that. So it does add up if you do it, you know, every weekend. And it's a nice side earn.
And with it being such a popular city, you're sort of bound to have people coming. Sometimes the fear is when you sort of buy a property and you're thinking to Airbnb it, you might be like, maybe there won't be a lot of income this month because not many tourists or not many people will book. But London is a city where it will always be booked. Winter, summer, spring, you've got it.
I agree. I think I mean, obviously the more reliable route is to rent it out to someone like permanently, but if you're more of a risk taker and you are good at marketing it as well, then obviously you can make a lot of money. And I think also from a perspective of a business, for example, the reason why I think a lot of people come to London to start a business in the property market is because there is so much money, as we said earlier, and so much opportunity and potential. And so even if you are just, you know, if you think you don't have many skills, if you feel like, oh, I just came to London, but I don't really have a lot of skills, I don't have a degree or whatever. If you just think about how many people book a cleaner in London, you know, and you don't have to be super skilled to be a cleaner. Of course, you have to have certain knowledge about how to clean a property and everything, but there are different agencies that will help you with that as well. They give you training and everything. So, you know, if you're starting to look, you know, into those areas, there is so much potential even for people who think, oh, I might not have a lot of skills or I might not know much about business. But there are so many services that people need in London that, you know, anybody could start doing and offering, really. I think even now, you know, what a lot of people do is they have people come to their home to not just clean, but also maybe to cook. Or, you know, like if they have a party, they might want a chef there or a person who's catering. So I think there are so many, you know, there's so much that you can offer in London in terms of, you know, the property market. And also another interesting fact that I learned, and we covered this not on the London Businesses, but another blog, is as a real estate agent, for example, you don't need any degree or anything. You can just literally become an estate agent and just sell properties and make a lot of money because you get a commission every time you sell. And if you sell the more expensive properties, obviously the commission is not so big. So yeah, there's a lot of potential in London. Yeah, and we have also interviewed, you know, for example, a business owner in London who runs a rubbish removal company. And it's interesting to see how, you know, how that business works, how that business world works, because it's often more in the background. Those kind of businesses like cleaning services, rubbish removal, pest control, those businesses are usually a bit, people just look for them when they will look for a solution. When they need them. When they need them. Yeah, so if they had a party, they just want everybody to remove it. But what people miss about it is that they contribute to our community in London as well, because they keep our streets clean, and they avoid, pollution, for example, because a lot of people just dump their waste, sadly, in London. That's still very common, unfortunately. And if you book, a rubbish removal company, that they will take care of all of that, and you don't have to worry about anything. So I think what we're trying to say here is London, especially in the real estate market or industry, is such a desirable field, and so much opportunity is there. So check out the London Business News magazine and the property section. We have lots of tips also about construction and the construction industry. We have a lot of tips about how to maintain a property and stuff like that. So it's all there for you. But also we have a lot of tips on property investment, actually, which is, I think, of interest to a lot of people. Because apart from, obviously crypto investment and all of that, the property market is still the most reliable investment in a way. And we cover that a lot on London Business News as well. So thank you very much for joining us for this podcast. I hope we could give you some insights into the London property market and the business opportunities in London's property market. But again, we have more in-depth information on the website, and maybe soon we'll also explore some more, I would say, very well-known buildings in London, because I think that's what a lot of people are interested in as well. And we also feature some co-living spaces on there, so we'll get into that as well with you to share more insights on that world as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Anna, and we'll see you soon at the next podcast.